Okay, let's talk house flipping. I'm going to break it down for you. There are a few things that you have to consider, and I will tell you my real life example. First things first, well, you got to search for properties, right? Actually, I had some luck in it because I have found certain property, but it was my business partner that found out about it. There was a guy who just moved out of his home and he didn't want to sell his old property. He just didn't want to sell it. So sometime later, my business partner told me about it. And then he told me I should go over and I should make him an offer. And long story short, I met with the owner and we just made a deal and I bought the property for $80,000. I got it under contract and I did all that was necessary, and it was a done deal. Now, before you get a house under contract, there's two things you need to find out about the property. Before you get on the contract, you firstly need to find out the house comparables. Then, the house renovation costs. Okay, so first, what are house comparables? Comparables is when you go and find the similar properties. So you go out and you find something to compare that property to. So what I needed to do is to find 3 properties that have sold within the last year in a 1-mile radius of my subject property, and then see how much they sold for in price, right? Now, after I've found my 3 comparables, and now I'm looking at how much they sold for. So let's say, for example, I found a house for $290,000 that sold. Then I found another one for $295,000 and one more for $288,000. What I would do then is I would take all of those prices and then I would just find out the average price. So let's say that my comparables was averaging out at $290,000. And just remember that I bought this house for $80,000, but that's not everything. Before I go on, I gotta tell you, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not something that you can do like this, Forget about it. You need to do a lot of research. So, $290,000. That is how much the house will be worth if we were to fix it up and list it on the market. Now, after you get your comparables, or people call it ARV, now it is time to go get your renovation costs. Now, getting your renovation costs may seem tricky, especially when you're looking at a property and you have no idea on how much work it needs and how much it's gonna cost, but here's an easy way to get around it. You literally just Google your local contractors, in the area, and you just have them check out the property and give you a bid on how much it's going to cost to fully renovate the house. So, it's done. You found your property, you found your comparables, and you found your renovation costs. Now, it's time to take all this information and plug this into a secret formula. This is what we real estate investors do. We call it 70% rule, but actually it is 75%. And this is what you use if you want to make the offer to the property owner. So, here's the formula. You take your comparable, all right? You just put it in a calc. So, it's going to be 290,000, right? That's your comparable. Now, you multiply this by 0.75, so 0.75. That is going to be your 70% rule. And now, minus your renovation costs. So you have to subtract the renovation costs as well. And that is going to be your max allowable offer for you, so you can make a profit. Now, of course, you can always go lower than the max offer, but you got to know 0.75 minus renovation costs after you have found out about the comparables, all right? This is the formula that all house flippers use when trying to make an offer on a property. So, now you know how much to offer to a property owner when trying to get a property under contract. Now, when you're getting a property under contract, you need to put an earnest money deposit down. And what is this? Well, it's just a deposit of any dollar amount to make the contract legally binding. Now, if you guys want to use the contracts that I use when getting a house under contract, I'll leave it in the description box below. It'll be a Google link where you guys can just download the files, edit those, and print them out like it's your own contract. Now, after you get your property under contract, it's time to get funding for the deal. If you guys don't know, I don't get my money from banks, at least none of my business partners. For me, I just like to get the money from private money lenders. What a private money lender is, well, they just lend out the money, hence the name, in order for themselves to make money as well. So it's not like they're giving you just some money and there's going to be like interest rate. After all, there's not like monthly revenue or something, and they don't check your credit scores. They don't check that. Trust me, they're way easier to work with. Banks just have a lot of restrictions, you know that. And finding private money lenders is not hard. You're going to want to download the app for it. The first app is called Meetup, and the second one is Eventbrite app. And you can find your local real estate meetups. There's always private money lenders at these meetups because these private money lenders are looking to give you money to flip your houses, you know? So going to these meetups are the best places to find investors and private money lenders. So, after you have found out about your private money lender, what I did, well, with this house, well, then you just go with the renovation phase. What I did, I ended up partnering up with a licensed general contractor who is my business partner. And then we started renovating the house, and it took us 6 months to complete the renovations. Yeah, it takes time, but the results were crazy. Literally, night and day difference, you know? Also, I always recommend taking before and after pictures. It's going to be useful. Don't be like me. And after all renovations, we just ended up spending $85,000 in renovating the house. All right? So remember our formula? Well, I will just now subtract $85,000, and then it's going to be $132,000. That is max offer, but we got it for $80,000, so we're lucky. Now, of course, it is time to sell it. In situations like these, well, it's very beneficial to have your realtor's license. If you don't have, you would have to pay like a real estate agent. And I've saved myself over $9,000. You know, you just have to pay that to another agent if you don't have your license. Agents would then list it on the market for you. But this time, we just ended up listing property for $290,000, and we even sold it for $300,000 over the asking price. And of course, after closing, we paid off all of our fees, and we ended up making over $100,000 only in profit. All right. Now, flipping houses isn't as sexy as it seems. It is a risky business after all. There's a lot of money on the line, so everything has to be done on time, under budget, and on point. If not, you can end up losing a lot of money, right? So having the right team in right place is extremely important. You know, having your realtor, having your lender, and having a good contracting team to work on the property is extremely crucial because, trust me, you don't want to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars and have to deal with that with your lender in court. And in a nutshell, that is all that I have for you today. It is not easy. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme, as I've told you, but it's not that hard if you love what you do, if you have some passion for it, and if you just want to get some money, you know? You can just learn. With experience, you will grow, and every next one is going to be easier for you. There's a lot of money in it, so if you want to do it, be dedicated, invest a lot of time, just do the research, all right? Research. Comparables, renovation costs, really, really important. So, wish you good luck.